Back to another Crimson Desert 4060 video, and this time only testing out the 6x frame gen, 6x and 5x pretty much, or maybe even 4x, because I've already done a basic video testing out all the other settings a couple days ago, so you can check that one out over here. And these are the system specs. It's the ASUS Dual version of the GPU paired up with the i5-12400F and 32 GB of DDR4 memory running at 3200 MHz. Nothing is overclocked, everything is base speeds, and that's about it. Running the latest NVIDIA driver as well. So if you guys want to know how to enable this, 6x frame gen is going to be up in this video, but I tested it out on the 3080 Ti so that I can reduce the length of the video. I don't have to explain it every single time, so it's going to be linked in the description as well. So yeah, let's jump into the game and see how it's going to be on 4K, 1440p, 1080p. Okay, you can see the settings. We are on 4K, starting off on 4K as usual. Performance mode, because it's not a capable card, so should keep it on performance, and it still gets really good visuals. And now we have frame generation turned on. 2x, we already tested it, so we can go all the way up to 6x now. I'm actually going to start it off on 4x and then we'll see. Okay, now rare reconstruction turn off for now, and then go to settings. I'm going to start it on cinematic with everything maxed out, even lighting quality at cinematic. Actually maxed it, so everything's cranked out and we have 4x frame gen. Now let's see. Alright, we're in the game now. And 77 FPS with terrible looking artifacts straight up on 4x frame gen when you max out lighting quality and everything. And 128 milliseconds latency. I tried to enable Steam overlay, but it doesn't work. So this is the only way to get it running. The Steam overlay doesn't even load up. If I press shift tab, which usually has the Steam overlay coming up, but it doesn't work with the mod on, so that's something. So we cannot see how much base frames we're getting here. And 133 milliseconds, it is kind of bad, but I cannot it's not as noticeable on the controller. Still kind of playable, but so only getting 71 FPS here, guys. The max lighting. If I turn it down to cinematic lighting, you can get almost 100 FPS now. So now it's way more smoother. The artifacting when you turn around has reduced significantly, so that's also a good thing, but yeah, the only downsides is the UI elements. It's always shaky. The minimap and the stamina bar, you can see, doesn't look good at all. So that's one of the negatives of 6x frame gen so far. Even in the 5080, when you enable 6x frame gen, it was pretty bad. It could be because the game doesn't support it officially. It's just downloaded through mods and stuff, so that's pretty much the reason why it's like this, I guess. But yeah, that's how it is. This is maxed out settings except cinematic lighting instead of max. So now let's see on 6x frame gen. So from 90 to 125 FPS. Now the artifacting is definitely there. You see the ghosting, you can see that, kind of terrible, and the minimap has been even more shakier. So yeah, these are the downsides of 6x frame gen, guys. So you can get 109 FPS though, maxed out settings. And like I said in the previous video, it is literally pointless to go down below cinematic settings on this card, or even high settings, because you get barely a few FPS gain and nothing much more. You know what? I'm gonna try to fight these guys. Come on, dude. Look at the minimap, it's so bad. And yeah, the latency is definitely messing me up. It's taking way too long to attack, man. That's terrible. Oh my gosh. The responsiveness is kind of terrible. I am not lying at all, man. It's takes at least a second or two to actually get him going, even if you spam things. So that's a big downside with 6x frame gen. So combat and just roaming around is totally different. So that's pretty terrible. So that's 4K. I don't think I need to go down below this. On ultra performance, I don't think it's going to be better. Can get 130 FPS instead of 125. Now it looks kind of terrible, but all the artifacting is still there. So yeah, don't see a point disabling this, And look at that. Oh my goodness. So noisy. Definitely not worth it, guys. So that's 4K, I mean, I can try going to maybe high settings, but it's not going to be a big difference. Can definitely get up to 160 FPS, but look at the quality. The artifacting is still there. Not worth it at all. So on 4K, it is like not ideal to play with 6x frame gen with a 4060, even on ultra performance. So it's better to just keep it to maybe like max 4x. Let me try 4x. 4x reduces the artifacting by a little bit, but it's still not worth it. The latency has reduced to 85 milliseconds, but 4x frame gen, it still has all of those artifacting. The minimap shaking has reduced as well. But yeah, let me get off the horse. Try using my stamina. Look at that. It's still pretty shaky, stamina bar. So yeah, it's still a terrible experience when it comes to the UI elements. But gameplay wise also, there's a lot of artifacting around the character, so not so pleasant on 4K. Now let's try 1440p. Alright, on 1440p I'm back to DLAA and 4x frame gen and back to max settings, lighting max, just to see how it's going to be with 4x frame gen. Let me see. 79 FPS with 120 milliseconds latency, which is pretty terrible. You can see all the artifacting is still there. Pretty shaky. Not worth it, in my opinion, on DLAA settings. And it might get better if we enable some upscaling. What if it's on quality mode? Quality mode takes us to 125 FPS, which is way better. And the shakiness has also reduced. The 85 millisecond latency is kind of playable. Not as bad as it was on native DLAA. So if you're asking me, man, this is actually doable. It's not as bad as the other ones. The artifacting is still there around the character when you do this, but it's bearable now, not totally distracting. And again, let me see on 6x. Takes it to 163 FPS. And now it looks horrible. Shakiness has increased a little bit, and also the latency has gone to 100 milliseconds as well. So during combat, it's gonna feel really bad, without a doubt. So I don't think this is a good playable experience. Look at the wood. Doesn't look that great, doesn't it? Ooh, it breaks. Okay, that's new. The new mechanic, I didn't know that would happen. But getting 136 FPS over here. Man, just look at that. It looks so good. So how about I turn the lighting quality to cinematic? Now it should be like way better. Yeah, now we can get 200 FPS with 81 milliseconds. Now it's like way more smoother. Definitely the ghosting is still there around the character. And it is still shaky on the UI elements. But now it's like way more responsive and I can play around. What about... Yeah, this is also kind of better right now. Wow. Let me get on the horse. And let's keep it going. Wow, just look at that, man. Wow, this game just looks so good. 190 FPS. This is with max settings though. And like I said, there's literally no point in going down below these settings. Just keep the lighting quality cinematic instead of max. Should be a really good experience right here. If you put it to balanced, now we're looking at 212 FPS. This is also kind of playable. The shakiness is still gonna be there. You can't do nothing about it, but this is a much better experience. 83 milliseconds is still playable, even on a keyboard and mouse. It is slightly floaty, I can tell you that. Not as smooth as on a controller, but I think it's pretty manageable. So let me just see if it's 2x. This is the vanilla settings that the 4060 generally lets you do. It only takes you to 117 FPS. This is fine. I mean, actually, no, 88 FPS. This is actually fine. Yeah, but this thing you can already do it without the need of the frame gen mod or anything. And it looks way more clearer, but look at the map. It's still kind of shaky. So yeah, not perfect whatsoever, even on 2x frame gen. So I'll just stop it right there. That's how it is. And you jump to 6x and it's immediately way better, getting us to 200 FPS. But everything else on this, it is kind of terrible, especially the UI elements. And the ghosting is still there, so Can't say much about it. And the latency still stays around the same, so that's a good thing. And we are only using about 6.6 gigabytes of VRAM. That is also a really good thing. All right, I'm just curious to see how it's going to be if I just use ultra performance and use the minimum settings. It's not going to be as crazy as it's on my 9800X 3D system, because that's the Vcache helps a lot in boosting the performance on these settings. I'm also curious to see how it's going to be on this one. 468. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just look at that. Wow. Everything is flashing around me, except the characters. You can get a 500 FPS, you know. The only downside is everything looks terrible. And who would want to play a game like this on 500 FPS? You know, this game is all about the visuals and the combat, and if this is just terrible. But the latency is like 32 milliseconds, which is super smooth. Wow, that's super responsive. So that's the max you can get on 1080p with a 4060 and 6x frame gen. Okay, now let's try 1080p. All right, now on 1080p, I'm back to DLAA and starting it off with 2x. So we will work our way towards 6x. Well, let's see. I'm back to max settings. Okay, so max settings, 2x frame gen, DLAA. See, actually not bad, 70 FPS. I think I already tested this setting out on my other video, you know, and this was quite playable with 78 milliseconds latency. It's not terrible, but the UI elements are still shaky. So there's that. I don't think we can fix that as of now. But yeah, it is playable. Way better than the other one. That's 2x frame gen. I don't want to test it out too much. We already tested it out and saw how it is. So now 3x. From 60, it will take us to 80. Pretty accurate. With 87 milliseconds now. So now it's a little bit worse than 2x. And the artifacting are still under control and doesn't look that terrible. If you're using almost 7 GB of VRAM here, 86 milliseconds, not bad at all. I don't know where I'm going though. Yes, dismount my horse. So yeah, 90 FPS on 3x frame gen. If I go to 4x, it'll take you to 121. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. 121 FPS. Close to 120 with 4x frame gen with 85 milliseconds latency. Still kind of playable. And again, it's going to be way worse when you're in a combat sequence. But just roaming around, it's pretty playable. Except that the UI elements are shaking, that's it. Now let's go to 5x. And now it's 141. Okay, still promising. Not terrible. But the latency has gone up to 100 milliseconds. That is kind of bad. More floatier than it was. 128 FPS. Still using almost 7 GB of VRAM. Keep it pushing to 6x. And that will take us to 150 FPS. The latency hasn't changed that much. Still pretty much under control. You take a look at it. The artifacting has definitely increased. You can see around him. But there's nothing we can do about it, man. And now we are like 7 gigabytes past the VRAM usage. And keyboard and mouse still feels pretty responsive. A little bit late, but not terrible. Okay, so that's DLAA and maxed lighting. I want to see how it's going to be with the ray reconstruction. It's not going to be too much. I think it will be. So from 150 to 116. He lost quite a lot of FPS right there. And now the latency has gone up to 140. The artifacting has gone up to 2x. It's crazy. Yeah, this is not nice, guys. I would not want to play it like this at all. So it's better to just turn it off completely. And then have the lighting quality cinematic as well. Taking you to 200 FPS easily. Now this is way more playable. Artifacting has reduced a lot as well. 71 milliseconds latency. Yeah, this is like really playable now. Of course, the UI elements are still picky. Other than that, it looks like a really solid experience right here. So I'd say if you want to play it on 1080p, which I believe most of you guys have a 1080p monitor with a 4060, 6x frame time might not be that bad if you just keep it to cinematic settings without any ray reconstruction. So not bad at all, man. And now I'm just curious to see how it's going to be with DLSS quality. Takes you to 270 FPS and now 60 milliseconds. You know, upscale from 720p. The shakiness has reduced for sure. Look at the stamina bar. It doesn't shake that much. But yeah, still there. I don't think it's going to be completely removable. Still going to be like that. But it's much better. So 250 FPS now. We are maxing out my screen refresh rate, which is again totally unnecessary for a game like this. It's good to see. And now, I don't think going down to anything below quality is worth it, especially on 1080p settings. So I'm just going to keep it there, and now for the funs of it, ultra performance, and the lowest settings we can go, which is minimum, just to see the maximum FPS we can get. And that takes us to 522 FPS. I cannot believe we are still GPU bound. How is that possible? And only getting 500 FPS here. See, this is what I'm saying. If I was paired up with the 9000X 3D, I'm pretty sure we can see at least 700 FPS or 600 at least. This is the i5 12400F, not as powerful as an X3D chip, unfortunately. But again, man, 500 FPS is possible. Just look at the visuals. Yeah, terrible. So I think that's it for this 6x frame gen test. What do you guys think about it, man? Definitely don't play it on these settings. Keep it to cinematic. Don't go max lighting. Keep it to cinematic. And 1080p, it's fine if it's either on DLAA or DLSS quality. It's up to you. 6x frame gen is pretty playable on these settings. Even on 1440p, it is manageable. So there you have it. I hope you guys find this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more benchmarks like these. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great time wherever you are. Catch you guys in the next one. So take it easy and peace out.